Eriksholm The Stolen Dream might be the most beautiful stealth, but is it actually fun to play? In the demo, you get access to the first 2 chapters, which already give you a solid feel for how the game plays. You're introduced to Hanna, who's agile, careful, and more than capable of silently taking out guards with poison darts. She's no tank. This is not about brute strength. This is about slipping through cracks, listening to guards, watching patrols, and avoiding detection at all costs. You get full control of the camera to scout the area, track guard movements, and plan your next step. It's a system that rewards caution and strategy over action. The stealth mechanics are classic, with a focus on observation and sound-based alerts. If you're stomping over metal grates or slamming doors, you're asking for trouble. This isn't a game that's trying to rush you. Stealth here is slow, intentional, and patient. You're encouraged to explore, find hidden collectibles, and listen carefully to the world around you. Conversations between NPCs can clue you into safe paths. Birds can be scared away to distract enemies. Even steam-powered machines become part of puzzles that help you move past guards undetected. Yes, levels are mostly linear, but there's enough flexibility in how you approach objectives that it feels like a lived-in place. The pacing, however, might be a bit too slow at times. There are sections that drag a little, especially if you get caught repeatedly and have to replay the same area. Now let's talk visuals, because Eriksholm looks stunning. Thanks to Unreal Engine 5's lumen lighting and metahuman facial tech, every scene is soaked in cinematic flair. Light cuts through narrow alleys, dust floats through abandoned buildings, and you can almost feel the fabric textures in the clothing. Everything is designed with an obsessive attention to detail. Is it a little over the top? Maybe. Do you need to see every wrinkle in a shirt from 20 meters away? Probably not, but there's no denying the game's visuals make an impact. The city is clearly inspired by early 1900s Nordic architecture, with tiled roofs, mossy brickwork, iron gates, and winding backstreets. It's a pleasure just moving through it, even when you're being hunted. The game isn't all about sneaking around though. The story is a big part of what Eriksholm is trying to do. You get cutscenes with well-animated characters, motion-captured performances, and believable dialogue. Hanna interacts with the people in the city, and even casual conversations between townsfolk help build the world around you. NPCs often talk directly to Hanna, and while you don't get branching dialogue trees, you do get letters, notes, and journal entries that flesh out the setting. The world shows signs of being lived in and detailed, which makes your role more engaging. The voice acting, especially in English, is solid. Hanna comes across as smart and capable, and most secondary characters do a good job too, though a few lines can sound a little flat. Still, for a demo, the overall delivery is impressive. Now here's where things get more divisive. Stealth is unforgiving. Get caught? Game over. There's no combat fallback, no running to hide, no last-ditch escape mechanic. You're instantly booted back to the last checkpoint. Thankfully, the checkpoints are frequent and well-placed, so you're not stuck replaying huge sections. But still, the lack of recovery options might seem outdated to fans of modern stealth games. Think of how Metal Gear Solid let you dive into a vent, or how Hitman lets you switch disguises. Even A Plague Tale threw in supernatural rats. Here, if you're seen, that's it. Restart. And while that might seem hardcore and pure to some, it also strips away a lot of player agency in tense moments. You're either perfect or you're done. No improvisation, no chaos, no fun in failing. There are glimpses of puzzle solving in the demo. A steam engine moving crates becomes a temporary moving wall to sneak behind. Other than that, it's mostly about getting past guards through patience and timing. If the full game can keep introducing new mechanics, like multi-character stealth, environmental changes, or evolving objectives, it could avoid becoming stale. But based on the demo, it's a little too focused on one type of challenge. Sneak past this guard, then the next, then the next. You're not given much room to experiment or play around with the systems. And if that stays true across the full game, repetition could become a real problem. Performance-wise, the demo ran fairly well. On high-end PCs, the game looks amazing, but there were a few FPS dips here and there. Nothing game-breaking, but enough to suggest some optimization is still needed. For lower-end systems, that might become more of a concern. The lighting and textures are very detailed, and it's not clear yet how scalable the graphics settings will be. It's something worth watching closer to launch. So, is Eriksholm The Stolen Dream worth playing based on the demo? There's definitely a strong foundation here. The stealth is solid, the visuals are gorgeous, and the world is rich with detail. Hanna is an interesting lead, and the voice acting and cinematics give the story a professional shine. But the game also plays it very safe. The stealth design doesn't bring anything new, the level design leans toward linear, and the fail-state system seems dated. If you're looking for a stealth game that lets you get creative or improvise, this one might not be it. That said, if you love slow-paced, methodical stealth and want to explore a beautifully crafted Nordic setting, Eriksholm could be worth keeping an eye on. Just be prepared for a lot of trial and error and maybe a bit of repetition. So that's the breakdown of Eriksholm The Stolen Dream, at least based on the demo. The full game needs to expand on its ideas and tighten the pacing to avoid losing players halfway through. There's stealth, story, and stunning visuals, but whether that's enough depends on how it all comes together at launch.